How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all having a good day. So I don't really make pickup videos anymore. However, I did grab some stuff from the holiday sales, and it's not a whole ton, so I figured I would just make a quick video about it. And these are just bought from your typical places like Amazon, GameStop, Walmart. There's one game here that I bought from PSN, and then one that I bought from a local game store. I've beaten a few of these so far, and some of the other ones are pretty much next on my list of games to start playing through. And yeah, that's pretty much it, so let me know if you've played any of these, and yeah, let's get into it. GameStop did have a buy two get one free, so I picked up 3 things that I've been looking for a while. None of these are crazy, they're all very cheap. I got all 3 of these games for like $12. They're just games that I had been looking for a physical copy of and just haven't really been seeing. The first one is Rare Replay, and this has to legitimately be one of the greatest values in gaming. I always used to talk about how great of a value the Handsome Collection is, which is Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel with all of its DLC, and you could pretty much go to like any store on planet Earth and find a copy of that for $5. By no means is this anywhere near all of their output. They have been releasing games from the 80s to the Xbox One era. They put out Sea of Thieves. I don't know if that's their last game. But anyway, there are 30 games here spanning from pre-NES PC all the way to the Xbox 360. There are notable games missing here, like the 3 Donkey Kong Country games for the Super Nintendo and Donkey Kong 64. However, all of the other big banger N64 games are here. You have Perfect Dark, you have Banjo-Kazooie, you have Banjo-Tooie, you have Conker's Bad Fur Day. Oh, the N64 GoldenEye is not included in this package. And the thing that's lame about this is that you can only get the N64 GoldenEye if you buy Rare Replay digitally. You cannot even buy it by itself. It was released years after this collection came out, and they don't even sell it standalone. If you want the N64 version of 007 to be included with your Rare Replay, you have to buy the entire thing again digitally. Or you can play it on Game Pass. Oh, and Diddy Kong Racing isn't included either. You have the Battletoads arcade game, which is what you're seeing on the screen here, and I had never played through that before. I didn't even know that existed because I've never seen a Battletoads arcade machine in any arcade I've ever been to. Even like the recent barcades, I've never seen one. It is 3-player, but I did play through it solo. However, you just have infinite credits to get yourself to the end of it. I was laughing the entire time I was playing it. It's so charming, it's funny. It has that completely over-the-top Battletoads design, and there's so much to do here. I can't recommend it enough. Everything looks great. I don't know how this game is $5 and like nobody cares about it. You can pretty much go into any GameStop right now and they will have a copy of this on the shelf for $4.99 before any discounts. The next one that I grabbed is a first-person shooter. This is called Prey. This is made by Arcane. This is one of those games that was big kind of when it came out and fell into obscurity. However, I'm going to talk about another game after this that also fell into obscurity, but this one kind of like boomeranged itself back. This is one that I have been wanting to play for a while because I have heard so many positive things about it. I just haven't seen a copy. I used to see Prey on the shelves of GameStop all the time for whatever, $7, and I just don't see it anymore. I made a video, I don't know, half a year ago about Mad Max. I played it in 2024, even though the game is 10 years old, and I loved it. Anyway, that ended and I moved on. But recently I was thinking about kind of the Wasteland and really wanting to go back into there. So anyway, after I had found the Rare Replay and Prey, I found a copy of Rage 2, and this is one of those first-person shooters that nobody asked for. It was developed by id and it was published by Bethesda. Nobody asked for this game, and not surprisingly, it didn't do well. You really can't go wrong finding these games for $4 a piece. They would cost you more to buy digitally than they do physically. But again, yeah, I don't know why this series was ever even made because it just seems like nobody cares about it. So I'm not sure who was reading the room and thinking this was ever going to be a big hit. One of the local game stores I went to had the worst sales out of all of these stores, and it was pretty much like half off of their clearance. Lo and behold, I walk in and there's a complete copy of Rage on clearance, and it was $5, so half off, brought it down to $2.50. I snatched it right off the shelf. I am going to play this one before the second one. This first one does have better reviews than that. When I was talking about Prey, I said that game fell off into obscurity and kind of boomeranged back over the years. Rage is just a series that fell into obscurity and lives there. It's just there now. This is its home. So anyway, I'll play through it. I'll see if it's any good. And regardless, even if it's not, it wasn't very expensive anyway. The only game I bought from Walmart this year was Silent Hill 2. It was on sale for $30. I did find a copy available locally, and whoever rang me out apparently didn't mark it as being picked up because a week afterwards I did get a refund email from Walmart due to my order never being completed. And they gave me my money back. So thanks Walmart, I appreciate it. This one I have not got around to playing yet, but it's also on the list. I will get around to it soon. Next is the Retro Realms double feature. It's exactly what it says. It is 2 games in one. You have Halloween and you have Ash vs. Evil Dead. So there are 2 distinctly different games that you play at different arcade cabinets. One is Halloween based, one is Ash vs. Evil Dead or just Evil Dead based. However, you can just use the characters in either of the games. It's all interchangeable. This was developed by WayForward, who I've mentioned before is one of my favorite modern developers. This collection was originally released for $50, and 1 week after it came out, it was on sale for $30. That's when I picked it up. In case you're wondering exactly what came with this release versus the special edition, you do get all 4 characters here: Michael Myers, Ash Williams, Laurie Strode, and Kelly Maxwell, which the 2 DLC characters by themselves are $10 for both. And this comes with a pack of trading cards. I did not expect this to come with the DLC, and I did not expect it to come with the trading cards because I figured those were exclusive to the special edition and you would just buy the DLC characters through whatever service you're using if you wanted them. The base game has its own trophy set with the platinum, and then all 4 characters have their own individual trophy sets. I did platinum this. I played through the Ash vs. Evil Dead side of it with Ash to 100%, and I'm 3/4 of the way through the Halloween side. If you are not into old retro-inspired NES hard platformers with deliberate troll mechanics in them, and you are not into the horror scene, this game is not for you. Don't even look at it. Don't even know that it exists. Just remove it from your mind right now. However, if you are into that, this is made specifically for you. You should love it. Next is the Karate Kid Street Rumble. So this is the 3rd release from Game Mill that is in the Karate Kid world. They did previously publish 2 Cobra Kai games of varying quality that I'll talk about in a minute. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. It is 2D, it has beautiful pixel art, and even if this isn't a perfect Karate Kid game, it is probably the best Karate Kid game that we will ever get from any company ever. One thing I don't like about Street Rumble, which has nothing to do with the actual playability of the game, is the difference between the game art direction and the cutscene art direction. And as much as I love the game pixel art, it looks beautiful, I hate the cutscene art. It's like AI made it or something. It's made in a completely different style. The other ones in the franchise, you have the first Cobra Kai game, which I liked. I beat it a couple times. I haven't platinumed it. There's a couple trophies that are pretty annoying. But if you were to look up reviews of that, you're probably going to have people who say they hate it and other ones who say they love it. I'm in the middle. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. It's not a total abomination. However, Cobra Kai 2, on the other hand, was broken at release. It's been broken ever since. There has been updates, but they've never fixed any of the actual issues with it. You can fall through the floor, that kind of stuff. I did beat it maybe 2 times. You cannot platinum it because there are broken trophies. And it's not like one trophy is broken. It's like half a dozen or more trophies are just broken and unobtainable. So you cannot platinum the game, and it's a train wreck. Anyway, back to Street Rumble. There are 4 characters you can play as. You level them up. If you want a Karate Kid game, this is the best one that's ever made. The funny thing is that Game Mill is the modern LJN. They put out so many licensed games, so Game Mill holds the licenses. They're the publishing company. Then they get these smaller companies to actually make the games and give them the licenses, just like what LJN did back in the day. And LJN put out the Karate Kid for NES, and in 2024, everything came full circle, and Game Mill put out the Karate Kid for modern consoles. Next, this is called The Last Faith. This was on sale at Amazon for $20. This is a kickstarted Metroidvania Souls-like. I did beat this. I think it took me, I want to say like 20 hours to beat. This is one that I thought about a lot even after finishing it. There are things that were stretch goals for the Kickstarter that they did not do. There's no New Game Plus in this. There is no, whatever they called it, like Tower of Power, whatever that is, where I guess you would just fight your way to the top, like boss rush style. I don't know. I liked this a lot. I did get all 3 endings. There's plenty of stuff to do. It's a Metroidvania, so it can kind of be mentally taxing to try to remember where everything is. There's a map, you can put markers on it. Yeah, I can't really sell this one enough. If you remember Blasphemous, this takes a lot from Blasphemous, even just the way things look. Just Metroidvanias in general. I'm not gonna say they annoy me, but I kind of reached my ending point with them at some time. Yeah, this is good. I definitely recommend it. It's very surprising to me that this game was even completed, especially with how small the budget was and how small the team was. They did a great job. And lastly, the PSN game that I bought was $1.99, and it's Asterix and Obelix Slap Them All. There have been a bunch of Asterix games that came to the United States. There is definitely a Genesis release, probably some even before that, and there's been some on Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, whatever, all the way down the line. Asterix has been in video games for years and years and years. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you slap everybody, but they throw huge hordes of enemies at you, and you have to take them all out. This game is based on speed. There are ways to throw characters, there are ways to barrel through them, there are ways to stun other characters, and then of course you're going to have to slap them to keep building your meter up, but you can use all these things in conjunction to kind of make this almost infinite combo where it doesn't matter if they throw 50 enemies at you at once, you're able to take them out. And one reason that they can do this is because all the mechanics are in place. Like, I feel even if you were to say that this game is more of a proof of test that it could work, this is workshopped really well because everything is so smooth. When I went back to get footage of the Cobra Kai game, it felt like the slowest game on earth after playing this for a while. The thing about Slap Them All, my first playthrough I just did on medium, I loved it. This game is a hair too long because there is so much reused content. That's why I was saying it's more of like a proof of test kind of thing. Enemies are reused, areas are reused, all of this stuff. There is voice acting and everything. And even if somebody doesn't like this game, the one unanimous thing that I see online is just how beautiful it is. The graphics are beautiful. I'm going to guess they're all hand-drawn. Everything is just top-notch as far as the presentation goes. It's just that it drags a bit and there's just so much reused stuff. Now, this is one of those games that I loved my first time through. And when I went to go back for the platinum to just play through it one more time on very hard, it was such a slog. I hated it. You pretty much die in like 2 or 3 hits, and there's tons of random times that you get hit in this. So if you've played a level for 10 minutes and then you get to a boss and you die in 2 stupid hits and you have to play through the entire 10-minute level again because there's no checkpoints, it's just going to get old really quickly. I had to force my way to get to the end of this. I could have just gave up halfway through or a quarter of the way through whenever it was really just being a slog and annoying, but I decided just to push through. I did platinum this. If you remember the game, The Callisto Protocol, that is a game that I hated the first time through. I had to force myself to finish it, but when I played New Game Plus in the hardest mode, I loved it the second time through. I thought the game was a blast. It was so well done. If they had adjusted things in that game just a hair, I think it would have been a lot better experience for some people. I know really everybody hates it, and I can't remember if that studio got shut down or not. I'm just saying the first playthrough of it, I hated. The second playthrough of it, I loved. And then back to the same feeling that I had with Asterisk, there's a game called Nobody Saves the World that I loved my first playthrough. I thought the game was great, and when I went into New Game Plus, it was such a slog, it bored me to tears, and I just stopped playing it. So it all depends. There are some games that you're going to love the first time and hate the second time, and there's some games that you're going to hate the first time and love the second time. And there is a sequel for this that came out last year. I figured that this was not going to have a physical edition, but it does. Just to put that out, if people only buy physical and this looks good to you, you're going to have to pay up for it because it was done on a smaller scale, like Strictly Limited or Limited Run. I don't know, one of those companies probably put it out. So that's what I picked up during the holidays. Not a ton, it's more quality over quantity this time. I played through a bunch of it. I am going to start some of the other stuff soon, and then of course I have 10 other piles of games to jump into. Anyway, what did you get during the holidays? What are you playing now? What did you just pick up now? I don't care. Tell me what you're playing. Stay nerdy. I'm out.
Getting your nerd on, getting your nerd on, getting your nerd on.
I got a raging nerd on.